Blinging us. Blinging us.
Blinging us. The blinging us is good.
Blinging us.
Blinging us into the nominations. I like it.
Blinging us into the nominations in our
We're
December.
We're forevermore. That's what happens here, Jay. We are getting blinged into this section, just so you know.
We're blinging in. Let's go.
That is an established thing now. Way to create precedence and set something in stone.
Sweet.
Okay, so what are your nominations?
Oh, man. This is going to be a fascinating session to me because I feel like I have no idea what's coming. It's going to be all over the place. First of all, we're going Tiger Heli.
Okay.
A flying vertical scrolling flying shooter, which we talked about earlier in the episode. And not that it was a great one, but just going through all these games, again, it was such a specific time earlier in the NES generation to where
only so many options.
You got to, getting comfortable with like, all right.
Well, just so you know, Jay,
what do we want to do?
Spoiler alert, I hear your Tiger Healy, I raise you 1943.
Oh, man. Okay. I would actually be more interested in 1943 than Tiger Heli just because I've seen the box art for 1943 so many times. I'd at least be like, all right, let me try it. I know what Tiger Heli is. I've seen that. But so that would be the first one. Second would be Q*bert. Oh. And so, okay.
Be careful, Jay. Be careful, because I'll agree to this.
The reason I bring up Q*bert, like, I don't know about you, but when we were kids, Q*bert was everywhere, man. Like, it was.
It's one of my favorite arcade games. It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know how the fuck to play it. Like, excuse my language. I probably shouldn't curse, but like, I don't know how to play it. Like,
Jay,
something about it
70,000 times an episode.
Something about it is always confusing to me as a kid, and I remember looking at it. I don't know if like the only time I ever tried it, I definitely didn't have an instruction manual. But like wherever I was and whatever system I was on, I was like, "What? I don't understand this." Is
play
weird.
For 5 minutes,
Obviously,
you understand. Play 5 minutes as an adult, you'll understand it. It's super simple.
Again, So that's what happened as an adult. Now, preparing for this, I saw it in here. I was like, let me freaking download this game and try it.
The NES one? Like, are we talking the NES one?
Yeah. So I downloaded it and I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of get the, okay, so this is how you're supposed to go. And obviously I didn't play long, but it had me enough interested to think.
It's a good game. You're super careful. I'll play Q*bert. Dude. It's fucking so good. It's the problem is the NES one is the worst one, I think.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know what other versions are out there. I just picked that. I just grabbed that one.
Yeah, I don't. Again, in this era, I don't know if there's a Sega one. I guess we could. I mean, that's not. I guess see. That's not really. We can do whatever we want. It's our podcast. But,
I know.
It's not.
We don't want a Strider situation. That's the thing. I don't want a Strider one.
Yeah.
Strider. So Q*bert number 2, and then third, Blaster Master. For previous discussions that. Always seeing it at grandma's house. But whenever I had the chance to play Mario Brothers 1 or 2 or Duck Hunt, I'm choosing those over Blaster Master because they're Mario, you know? And so, especially if I had like a cousin or older somebody else who was there, I didn't always get the chance to play that. And, you got a recipe for me trying it, dipping my toe into it, but I don't really know what to think of it outside of that. So I'd be willing to kind of check that out as well.
Okay. Well, I have Blaster Master as well. I didn't really fuck with it as a kid, maybe some sort of cursory whatevers, but I tried when I first got the Switch, or first got Switch Online rather, I fired up a playthrough of it on that.
Oh, it is on Switch Online.
Yeah, it was quite hard, and I wasn't able to finish it for some reason or another. Even with I remember pulling up the NES map, the Nintendo Power Maps too, and I still could. It's a lot. It's a big game. So that's maybe one caveat, or one at least not a caveat, but a thing to understand about what you're saying is that it is it's I don't know. It's by no means side quest level. It's not like we're like fucking like we just talked about RPG stuff, but it is it's big.
Still involved.
It's a big involved game for sure. Which whatever, it's the holidays. I don't think I shouldn't disqualify it, but that it is to be known. So I have that. I have the aforementioned 1943 as a flying shmup answer, and then I have actually two more. I have Iron Sword, the second Wizards and Warriors, which is it's an interesting game. I don't think I ever beat it. Jab had it. It's a good game. It's got some faults. It's acclaimed, so it's not perfect. But the first one was pretty good. It was one of the very first game episodes Jab and I did early on in the pod. I think it was our second game episode, if I recall correctly. So, I've talked about like the revisiting those campaigns is interesting, and I think kind of a cool part of what we're doing, the kind of the development of even within a individual game franchise, talking about that progress is interesting. Historical analysis stuff that I like including in what we're doing here. So that's a cool component of that one. And the other one I had is Iron Tank, which I said is just kind of a curiosity to me that I think there's a little bit going on to and might be kind of fun. So with the overlap of Blastmaster, I guess of things that you suggested and fucking really piqued me is the Blastmaster and Qbert. Qbert is super basic, but it's super fun. I hate the Nintendo one. It's such a poor iteration of it. I feel like, I guess, well, fuck it. We can always just put in the elevator music. Is there an SMS version?
I mean, also, like in the real timeline, we're in the canon timeline.
Sure.
We're in 1990, 1991.
There is an SMS port, as you would expect. So did my take on Blastmaster kind of turn you off on that?
I mean, on it being that large, yeah, only because it's holiday, and I would rather play multiple games over the holiday and not like be bogged down, especially if it's like,
especially with Asgard's Wrath coming out on the 15th is going to make it really tough to do anything.
Especially, I got zombies to kill. I mean, they're waiting on me. I got zombies that are waiting to get murdered. Okay.
Iron Sword doesn't do anything for you?
Not really. The idea of that, yeah, I could always do a platforming kind of actiony
medieval fantasy type
deal. Yeah, I'm never going to turn that down. it didn't jump out at me like a ooh, but again, I feel like everything in this era either falls into I love it and I've played it and I hate it, or in the middle, or it's like yeah, okay, like we'll see, whatever.
Okay.
And this falls into that. Like, if you put it in front of me, I'd play.
Yeah, I would rather. There's probably a dope ass fucking Genesis Qbert coming down the line or something. I would rather wait on Qbert to play one because it is an awesome game.
Especially if you're saying there's better versions. Like, I don't want to play a.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been ported to everything.
We're not doing Strider. So
right, yeah, it's been ported to everything ever. So yeah, there'll be a Genesis version and probably an SNES version.
Well, I just didn't know how far that went. Like to me, Qbert was like a kid thing. No. So like, I didn't know if it was like Atari NES.
Qbert was in one of those like Wreck-It Ralph or something like that. That character is still around. So it's not died at all. So let's hold off on that. So I would say then I think Blaster Master's too much too. I that's more of a kill quest type thing. I think
kind of thing
that just needs to happen on their own time. I don't think it fits into a game episode. It's one of those limbo games like Willow and stuff where it's just too much for a game episode. I think. For being responsible. So 1943 and Iron Sword would be the two I would advocate for most strongly. So I'll let you decide between those.
I mean, I'm in the mood for a flying shooter. Let's go 1943.
Okay.
Flying shooter-ish.
1943 it is.
Wow, I never would have thought I would have chose that game. Wow.
It's funny how this discourse just leads you crazy places, Jay. It's just a fantastical
but again,
journey.
That box art is like key in my mind. So it's like, okay, nostalgia unlocked. Let's dive in.
It was good. I mean, I was wildly surprised how much fun I had while playing. I finished the whole first stage and I was like, I can play more of this right now.
For you, the non-flying shmup guy?
Precisely, yeah. But I said that about Captain Skyhawk and you hated that, so who knows?
Yeah.